Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Blaze casting presentation bringing you guys a game from DotaBro.com's league. It's actually a higher level play game here. iCCup team is one of the leaders in the brackets here, and now we have GRS.Academy, who we casted just last game, who performed very admirably in accomplishing many important objectives and keeping momentum rolling. On top of that, Academy picked up some awesome picks, saw a Juggernaut and an Axe pick, so those were really cool, and it was a really fun game to watch just based on the dynamic aspect of those heroes. So that's really cool, and now we'll see a really high level play, presumably, with the fact that they're going up against iCCup team. So very cool. They are a Russian team. I don't really speak Russian, so I'll do the best with their names, but in general, I'll go with it. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Blaze Casting. I'm becoming Dota 2 caster. I'm amateur cast primarily. I do SCCS on Sundays and stuff like that, but this week I'm doing a lot of DotaBro.com games, so check out my stream when you can. If you enjoy the cast, please check it. You can do follow on the Twitch stream to see when I go live, that kind of stuff. But I'm going to do a lot more DotaBro games in the near future, because that's going to be awesome. They have a tournament coming up in January, that kind of thing. For those of you that don't know, DotaBro.com is an open league. You just get 4 good friends, make a team, join it up, matchmaking it up. So it's pretty much team matchmaking inside this league that provides a cash tournament prize for the top 16 slots. They all go into the tournament and duke it out. So that'll be cool. And I think the top 8 get a prize, so I mean, even if it's $50, it's still awesome, one way or another. But awesome picks. I'll kind of get onto the draft, jabbering on quite a bit here. But looking at the bans, we do have Batrider, Bounty Hunter, Undying, and Darkseer all taken off the board. Pretty standard stuff. But with that, GRS.Academy taking the opportunity once a Nyx Assassin was picked up by iCCup team, immediately responding with Jakiro and Magnus. And honestly, I think the Nyx is a pretty good counter to those two heroes. They're still great heroes on the board in general, but the fact of the matter is Nyx, with his Spike Carapace, can counteract a lot by stunning out Jakiro in the middle of it, and also, pretty much with Magnus polarities and a bunch of heroes, if Nyx can respond during that animation of the reverse polarity by popping the Carapace, anybody that's AoEing down that group of heroes right there will get stunned up for a long duration if they don't have magic immunity, so that's a pretty big deal. Let me get this fixed. Cool. But yeah, there is Havost in GRS.Academy, but I think he's just quite a poser, an imitation, but not the legit thing. Obviously, that wouldn't be really his style. When he's making millions, winning $1 million tournaments, you don't really need to worry about the $2,000 leagues. But it's still fun. He was playing carry Juggernaut, so it worked out pretty well. But no, not the real Havost. Nevertheless, have quite a few interesting people here. We just Zik, Sunfeed, Jackal, and 3abo and something. I have not taken a single, nobody's taught me a sentence in Russian ever. I don't know how to pronounce it, I don't know how to read it, so that acrylic, not so much for me, but might be able to help out with the kanji / hiragana they have on the 4th player's name, but that doesn't matter. Going on into what the drafts and kind of, yeah, exactly, unpronounceable lines, so I'm probably just going to call it by the hero and not really worry about it other than that, so I'll just say what the hero is. But going on a little bit into the analysis of the lineups here. So we do have Shadow Demon picked up, and that's really going to set them up for a really powerful either defensive or offensive tri-lane. I like the offensive aspect of it because disruption into Ice Path can be extremely effective at bringing down an enemy hero, but Lifestealer is one of the exceptions to that. He can just he will get stunned up by the Ice Path if he gets disruptioned, but at the same time he can always rage out if they try to get some long range initiation on him with the Ice Path there. So it can be extremely effective, and it's going to be hard to bring him down. It's going to be generally much easier to bring down the supports, but Lifestealer and Nyx Assassin in a lane makes it difficult to kind of choose a target, because Rage is a pretty long duration even at rank 1, and Nyx Assassin has a lot of potential with that Spike Carapace. Survivability will just stun out the enemy, and that extra couple auto attacks generally means the kill. I mean, it's a really big difference between every single hero attacking twice or not, and that definitely adds up there. So a lot of hard carries bans coming out of iCCup team. They already have their Lifestealer secured. They're like, okay, he's going to be top dog. I don't want to face agi carries. You want to throw me a Dragon Knight, whatever, I can feast on him pretty hard, but if the agility carry is on the board, I might have issues late game, and they don't want to have to worry about that. So GRS.Academy, since they have drafted up most of their support and initiation, they definitely want to be running out their lineup with carry and off lane. And so the Bounty Hunter already being banned out in the first place, as well as Darkseer. There's not too many great offlane options. Windrunner being banned out as well, and Queen of Pain. Wow, actually Gunrunner is banning out quite a few of their own offlaners, means that they're probably going to run Magnus in the offlane. They still definitely can do it, but it's going to be much more difficult. The issue is that the Skewer at rank 1 is only 600 range, and therefore obviously has its limitations. But yeah, so That means they're going to be looking for a solo mid hero, presumably, but they've also been out TA and Quap, so really I'm not sure how they want to run this, but it'll be interesting one way or another. They definitely want a good solo mid. They probably have one in mind. It's just not one of the conventional ones that you would jump to. So maybe they want to go for like a classic Shadow Shaman, or for a long duration disable for when Lifestealer is out of that rage state. Being able to get a long duration shackle can be pretty promising. But the one thing is I haven't talked about yet is the wrench in the works of the Wisp. Wisp is such a mobile hero. He has global presence with his ultimate, can bring a taxi along any one of his allies to bring them there to the fray and put out a lot of damage pressure. And it's going to be interesting how they want to apply that. If they want Nyx Assassin to Vendetta, Wisp tethers him and just jumps right on top of somebody, tether stun, Vendetta damage, nuke him down real quick, easy pick off and get out with no trouble at all 12 seconds later. Or if they're going to bring in the Lifestealer and give him a lot of attack speed with the overcharge buff that he provides. Probably a little bit of both, honestly. But we'll have to see which one he prioritizes when it comes to utilizing his ultimate as effectively as possible. But they do pick up a really, really good pickup in my mind, the Tidehunter. With this, they have two very powerful AoE stuns, the Nyx Assassin in a line, the Tidehunter in a very massive AoE. All of you guys most likely know it, but pretty much what we're looking at there is if they're going to be stunned by the Spike Carapace when Magnus groups them all up, then as soon as Tidehunter gets out of it, whether by taking enough damage that Kraken Shell dispels the disable, or if it expires because it's only rank 1 or 2 polarity, then Tidehunter can just be spamming his Ravage, immediately come out of it with a big stun, and give Lifesteal that big opportunity to just chomp away. He's very immobile, especially when Demonic Purge is active, but the fact of the matter is if the enemy is stunned, he's going to be able to do a world of hurt with an armlet, with a Desolator, however he wants to build him. So, okay. I'm going to change my broadcast name real quick, or broadcast title, whatever. Meant to do that already. There we go. Alright, so that is changed for this round specifically. And from there, I'll go back into the draft. So we do have picked up a Beastmaster. I really love the Beastmaster pickup here. Lifestealer pretty much has a free BKB built into his hero with the Rage ability. Gives him 6 seconds of magic immunity, so he cannot be stunned from magical disables, he cannot be slowed from magical disables, that kind of thing. But Beastmaster is a hero that, all in all, completely counters a BKB hero. His axes do composite damage, so they will do at least the physical portion of the damage to the Lifestealer during that time period. The Boar, lesser or greater, will be able to do a magic immunity piercing slow similar to Scotty, so we'll be continuously slowing him up 30%, whatever, and we'll be reversing him. The attack speed makes it so that they do more auto-attack damage, right-click damage, which obviously is physical in nature. The final thing would be Primal Roar, which, although it doesn't do magic damage, it still can stun for up to 4 seconds on a hero that is designed to not be disabled at all during that time period. So by picking all these up and accompanying that with the Magnus Reverse Polarity, which pierces immunity, and the Demonic Purge, does also, as long as, I think you can rage out of it, but as long as you cast it after the rage is active, then you can keep that on them, slow them down, and he's just going to be crawling around. Like, literally, I mean, he crawls around already, but at his movement speed, he's going to be doing very, very little in teamfight without some hard disables from Tide and Nyx. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm almost thinking they might need a Force Staff just to get Lifestealer in the fray, or I'm not going to say he needs to go Linkage, that would be over the top, but they knew that they needed a little bit more supplemental damage, and that's why they picked up the Clinks. Clinks is a very great gank-oriented hero. He can offlane if he needs to, getting some more in Skeleton Walk to increase his movement speed, and that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm probably going to, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start actually implementing the rating of these guys into the title that you guys see above, the announcer title, so that you guys can see exactly what you're up against, whether it's a 14-20 team and they're about to get stomped, or if you guys can see that it's higher level players and more active. So I think I'm going to copy and paste that into the broadcast announcement every single time tomorrow, but for right now I'll just put up the team names for this game here. But transitioning into the game and getting on, like I said, the names of the individuals, especially on iCCup, is going to be difficult to respond to, but you got Jackal on his Clinks, and that's going to be really, really awesome here. And the rest, I don't really know how to pronounce them, and therefore I don't know who they are associated with. But anyways, we do have GRS.Academy, who we went over last game, Fake Havost on the Chaos Knight. We have 3 coolest on the Shadow Demon once more, and Scrivinity. These two heroes, both support players, played the exact same heroes. Have played on the top in a supportive tri-lane, but immediately transitioned towards the mid to try to put pressure in that regard. So whoever goes for the mid in the Radiant will be having some issues, but right now it looks like they're planning on stacking and pulling the mid lane. What they're going to be doing there is pretty much waiting for these camp to spawn at the 5-second mark or 35-second mark, 7, whatever. They're going to be able to pull them right into the lane. The creeps will go right back over, and then they can actually pull the hard camp too if they break down some of those trees. So that's what they're trying to do with the Wisp, to get Lifestealer some nice farm in the mid up against the Magnus, who's going to be rushing a bottle most likely. Yeah, 350 gold. So that'll start them off really, really effectively for laning. That gives Beastmaster the... one thing is Beastmaster will have the opportunity to kind of do a 1 versus 2 offlane, which isn't the worst. Like, he won't get entirely shut down. He won't, like, win it by any standpoint, but he can always just throw his axes on over, stack up the camp here, and when you get multiple stacks of that, unless they ward it, you can get plenty of damage going, and gold and experience. But we just saw Zik on the Wisp, sentries that up. So 3 minutes, first 3 minutes, that will not spawn. He put it just like a couple seconds before the... Oh, actually, no, 30 seconds is when they spawn, but not a big deal. Anyways, decent block coming out from Magnus, and he's going to start off doing okay against Lifestealer until the pulls start coming out. When that occurs, it's going to be very difficult for Magnus to do anything, as he will be extremely experience deprived, and that will... yeah, he'll have a hard time with that, but hopefully that will smooth itself out as we get into the laning phase. As far as that goes, Tidehunter has set himself up with 1 Tango, eating out this tree, Sunfeed, eating out 1 tree and hiding in a really nice little crevice where he's going to get experience. As long as the Creequilibrium stays in this position here, he's going to get experience for free without any risk to himself. However, it's very risky if they do find him out. Even a little Shadow Poison might clip over the top and see what's going on there. So Alcor has been zoned out. He was playing the Bounty Hunter last game, so he is familiar with the offlane, but now very smartly has put his own sentry ward down. That's what he picked him up for. He expected it. Puts his sentry down in outside of the box so that he can kill the ward that's inside of it and therefore allow the creeps to spawn, get some ancients going. But Wisp does have 1 more ward up his sleeve. We'll see if he can utilize that. In the meantime, doing some nice mid pulling, like I was saying, pulling the camp right back over to the easy camp will allow them to completely demolish the Radiant creep wave. Every other creep wave will effectively die, just because he's stacked up these hard camp now, and for every minute the creep wave will spawn. So Lifestealer going to have some pretty easy farm underneath tower, and you can just see the experience difference right now. 345 for Lifestealer compared to Magnus's 185. Huge difference, and that's gonna make them more difficult for Magnus to really accomplish anything, because a lot of people don't realize that he's very, very experience reliant. Not just getting rank 4 Shockwave up, but the fact of the matter is reverse polarity. It's not like Black Hole. It ranks up its duration every single time you level it up. So he needs level 11. He needs level 16 if he wants to have some big powerhouse initiation underneath things like Jakira's Macropyre. But yeah, one thing I do like about Academy's lineup is they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're not going like pure AoE, and if Magnus doesn't get his polarity off, then they're screwed. They're actually going for good aggression, good activity, and kind of balancing it out with some nice gank and farm type oriented stuff. But I think they really need to push the momentum in the direction of the opposition. They need to put out some damage, take down some towers, take some team fights pretty quickly, because iCCup's lineup is very, very stable. If Lifestealer can get some good dedicated farm, he's already 1-1-1, and with last hit sitting at 15, he's doing very, very well there, then that will work. But anyway, so Clinks is farming up rather effectively. He has 16 last hits, along with Lifestealer having 18. Plenty of gold to work with, and as they transition towards the mid to late game, that's going to be extremely favorable for them. And that just the way they're playing right now shows to me why they're one of the top teams in the DotaBro League. So that is, he's just been playing super effective, getting all the last hits that he needs, and with that, they're going to be able to get some big items and make real team fights happen. And that's not what Academy wants. They want to put out some aggression, so GRS coming on through, and they want to do what they were doing last game, which is gank up quite a bit, put out some aggression. The disruption into Ice Path is extremely effective. I kind of wish they had waited for level 3 just because Ice Path is that much more better, whatever. But anyways, there is aggression coming out from Magnus, but it is actually a really bad idea, because once that rage expires, if he didn't have the bonus movement speed from Tether, they could have put the disruption out. Unfortunately, there wasn't really any opportunity for Magnus to skewer him in any favorable regard, so he just popped it unnecessarily, and Wisp was able to get the lifesteal out of there. So they went aggressive, got the free autos in, didn't do too much, but they were able to fall back, and that was what was the most important thing. So again, the Observer Ward has been placed, this time in the trees, so they need a Flying Courier to fly overboard to reveal that, and Beastmaster just doesn't think that's worth it. Alcor not really going to commit that much to it, even if he does put down a sentry. So all in all, he's just going to deal with his lot in life and go 1v1 up against Jackal, which obviously is not what he wants either. So he's going to have a rough time of things. You can see he's at the bottom of the experience per minute, right next to Shadow Demon, neck and neck, as he's roaming around quite a bit. Does have a haste rune, though. We've let Magnus bottle that up. Good covering of the runes will allow them to put more pressure in the mid lane with that haste. He actually immediately activated the haste. He wanted mana really badly, but he's looking for a skewer. The open wounds won't do anything, so now he gets in a good position. Skewer him out. Yeah, there we go. And now with that, he pops the rage immediately. They won't be able to ice path, but auto attacks will be sufficient. Actually times the shockwave perfectly for when rage expires. So first blood, last auto attack came out from Threequilus. So Shadow Demon will pick up some nice amount of gold, get some boots, get some flying courier. Actually, I already have the flying courier, so that's nice too. And one thing I was talking about was having to get a flying courier, but you know, if you've got the axes, you can just burn down the trees anyways, or cut them down lumberjack style, so no big deal there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is DotaBro.com's league opened up for the next 4 days. Closes out on the 30th, and with that, the top 16 will go to the tournament. But I am Blaze Casting, Dota 2 caster, amateur mostly. I cover a bunch of tournaments and in-house groups and stuff like that. So thank you for tuning in, and if you enjoy the cast, you can always check out my YouTube at youtube.com/blazecasting or follow on Twitch. But other than that, I'm just kind of talking about that kind of stuff because nothing's really happening right now. We're looking at 1-to-1. Clink's ponying up the Beastmaster. I mean, that's really the only thing that's going to happen is Clink's finds an opportunity where Beastmaster overextends and makes him pay for it. But that's really the only thing you're going to be looking at there. Anyways, so with not too much happening, pretty much looking at... Oh, actually, nice action on Titan. Only 1 second stun, and he could have actually Kraken Shield out of it anyway. So Reality Rift kind of wasted there, and you know, Sunfeed really just wants to pick on him a little bit more. Even with the Soul Catcher, he's fearless. He has a Stout Shield, he has Rank 1 Kraken Shell, and you notice he can do whatever he wants up against Vos because he only has one. Doesn't have any mana for stun, and that's really, really essential. And now Nyx Assassin transitioning towards the mid, wants to try to get a pick on Magnus. He has mana for Skewer, but it is only rank 2 and won't be the end-all be-all of Escape. And now with that, nice action. Impale actually bounces him up in the air while he's charging on through. The Ice Path almost saved his life, but just too little, too late. Needed to get a Vector, mostly in this direction here, and they got enough auto attack. And that was primarily because with Tether, even a rank 1 was able to get a little bit more stun on the Magnus that he was forced into an unfavorable position. If he went just right up on the cliff, he should have been fine, but unfortunately he thought that it would be better to go up on the river towards Jakiro, and with that he got caught out. So good kill, and of course, you know, giving assist to Lifesteal is always going to help his farm out. Yeah, I need to breathe a bit. But yeah, so yeah, one thing I have a problem with, I need to slow down my cast a little bit. There's just a lot of information to convey, and I try to keep on top of those things, but not a big deal. Well, Clinks is farming up extremely effectively right now. His GPM is sitting at 448. He can actually get gold right on out of the creep with Death Pact and get a lot of attack damage for his trouble. So with that, he has plenty of mana to spare. Oblivion Staff up, he's going to be going for the Orchid. Once he finishes off the Orchid, Shadow Demon is going to be easy pickings, or anybody near Shadow Demon, because he can't disruption defensively. He's going to be silenced up, and... Well, okay, yeah, no, the league is, sorry, I'm going to just kind of converse with chat. I don't have time to type it since I am solo casting, but pretty much the league for DotaBro is always going to be open. It's just this season specifically closes on the 30th. Okay, back to the game. So anyways, going on through, we do have Treads on the Chaos Knight. It gives him quite a bit of mobility. He'll be able to stay active in the lane. And then going on through, Magnus has picked up his level 6. We're looking for a big polarity, and actually there's a great opportunity for that. They had the Sentry Ward. Do they have any? He's going to skewer him back into Sentry, giving him just enough range to get a couple more auto attacks off, but unfortunately Shockwave's not going to do it. There's a Sentry. He has gone down to this position here. He's actually surviving for a moment. Needs the Ice Path. Will he get it? The axes go through, but the Ice Path does not. He's going to actually get a double damage rune. Shockwave dodges it all. Jackal will survive, and fortunately only bringing 2 sentries, no dust. You're not able to lock him down in that circumstance. So really nice jukes from Jackal going on south and then coming up when they didn't expect it so that they couldn't stun him out. Nice action there, and keeping him alive is very, very essential to keep things active. And in the meanwhile, we just have Jungle Nyx. He says, okay, I have some HP regen available. Need to spend that up a little bit, and actually now having a nice opportunity to try to bring down Chaos Knight. If they get the Impale, they do. Oh, they had it, but he apparently clicked on the Kira, not the Fog, so was not able to bring him down. Now the Chaos Bolt, 3 seconds, but more importantly 267 damage, so Vos will be able to bring him down, but with the Ravage committed by Sunfeed, they will be able to bring down the Chaos Knight as well, he is trying to run for his life. He has a lot of strength to work with, but with that tether, he will finally go down. One more Anchor Smash. There we go. Nice auto attack, though. It's going to be enough for the creeps to get the Wisp down, and that's really, really essential there. So in the end, it's only a 2-for-1. It's actually in favor of GRS.Academy. So for the amount of heroes they committed to that wasn't bad at all. And of course they committed the Ravage too, and didn't even bring him down immediately after that. So yeah, questionable decision in that sense. I don't think it was as favorable as I wanted it to be, that's for sure. And it cost them. So with the Ravage on cooldown, there's a lot more momentum in favor of GRS. And that whole deal. But now, nice TP coming in from Wisp. They do the relocate. They have the Nyx Assassin. One thing I was talking about was whether you bring the Lifesteal or the Nyx. Bring them both. Have Lifesteal there in the first place. Nice Carapace coming on through. Chaos Knight can't do too much more. He will try to go for the Rally Rift, pull him back in, and he will pull him back, but he will relocate it out in time. It has expired, and with Lifestealer and Tidehunter out on the field, they might have been able to do it, but blocking him up in this juncture here, Nyx gets stunned out and has to pop his Infest, which actually does a lot of damage to Shadow Demon. He's going to try to bring him down. The Destruction's not available, so he will get the kill. Nice tether coming in to help him out as they want to bring down Hivos with some Spirits, but Alcor tanking them all up in turn. There goes the Gush, now looking for Alcor. Easy Impale. Nice action from all of iCCup right there. They committed a lot. They got a lot out of it. Really nice play. And that TP Impale, or TP Skewer, not really what they were needing in that circumstance. They need to have the Magnus come in for the reverse polarity. When the Tidehunter has his ultimate on cooldown, that's the time you can win a team fight. You can fight as 5v5 and take them down no problem, but unfortunately Aid not in the fray there, and he got picked off from the beginning. He got picked off when Lifestealer and got the assistance of Nyx and Wisp, and from there they just got locked down. Now, nice intent for the Impale, but should have just used his movement advantage of Tether for a little bit longer to try to close the gap. No big deal though. In the end, they are still sitting at 9-4. Looking at the gold graph, moving up towards 7,500 there, so that is awesome. That is really, really cool. But anyways, yeah, 8,000 experience earned. They just really have so much in favor of the Radiant right now, and that's really what they want. I don't even remember the Dire Courier dying, so sorry for missing that. But the big deal, there's a couple things all in all that you guys need to know. Jackal has his Orchid that is going to give them more kill death in their favor. They're going to be able to bring down more opponents, but even like a relocate of tethered Clanks on top of somebody, he can just get the solo kill across the map and be perfectly safe to TP on out. In the meantime, Chaos Knight has been forced into a kind of a utility role with this drum pickup. He generally likes to play hard carry, pick up an armlet, pick up a lot of huge amounts of damage, but right now he needs mobility. He needs to not be locked down constantly by a Wisp, by a Lifestealer, open wounds, that kind of thing. So he's put in a position where he's farming a plus $9 stats item. It's nice. I'm not going to say it's a bad item on him, but you know, meanwhile your heroes are dying. You're not going to be carrying anything. You're not going to be 1v5ing anytime soon. So in that position, it gets more and more difficult to overcome the carry aspect of iCCup. They have a Lifestealer, they have a Clanks, they have the potential to carry really, really hardcore. And now nice relocate up on top, going on through with I mean everything. I don't even need to call that. Just they popped everything on him, bring him down, no problem at all. And now they have 2 heroes. Well, for a short time period they have 4 heroes, but then they're going to just have 2 to push up on this tier 1 mid. In the meantime, they did get TP'd right back in. They saw where they came from, and they tried to hit him where it hurt back at their home, but Tidehunter TPing right back in, pops the Ravage. Really, really wants to make sure they can bring down 1 hero at all times. So Sunfeed does pop it off, gets the Jakiro pickup, and of course they got the Chaos Knight up top. Both really, really good kills, but again, the Ravage is a pretty long CD, so watch that. Next 2 minutes, they are a little bit more vulnerable, but honestly, they're on top of things right now. They don't need to entirely worry about it. If the longer the game goes, the better off they're going to be, and the fact that they have aggressive momentum is going to be really good. No sentries coming out, but Clinks just wants to go aggressive. He's inside 4 people. The dust comes out, but he actually burns him down almost in time. There goes the disruption to keep him alive, and he didn't pop the Orchid, so damage amplification wasn't there. And now with that, they're going to try to finish the job. Just needs 1 shockwave, 2 seconds, not going to happen. Now I'm not sure Lifestealer and Hivos are dueling it out. Not sure exactly why he thought that was a good idea. I mean, he does have a lot of disables potentially. Actually baiting Lifestealer into a pretty bad position. Soulcatcher goes on through. Nice nuke damage. He does pop the Infest, looking for a little bit more to finish the job, but you know, TP's coming in. The supports are ready and raring to go. The Wisp has canceled his tether, but he's just looking for some extra damage with those spirits. Not sure why he's overcharging. There we go. But it's not a big deal. He just needs a little bit more mana to work with. Not sure if there's going to be a rune spawn anytime soon, but this is an extremely active game. Like, I don't even know what to talk about. There's just so many things going on right here. But aggression going on to Aid. He's going to get died before his Orchid expires. That's one disadvantage he has in comparison to Tidehunter, is there's no Kraken Shell. So if you get disabled, you get silenced, you're going to take a fall before that ultimate will come out if they burst you hard enough. So nice action. They just played extremely well in the past couple team fights, and now Jackal is just on a killing spree. Wicked sick, double kill, and he's just all over the place. He did finally lose his death pack buff, but he just delivers so much hurt. He can go for an MKB with that overcharge. He's just going to be a monster. So they don't even have to rely on the Nakes so much. He has his Midas, he has his Armlet, which again, that's way better than the drum build that's going to be coming out of the Chaos Knight. But in the end, they both of them can carry very effectively at this point. Their GPM through the roof, 495 plus. Chaos Knight not even sitting at 273. So I don't want to call it before it's over, but unless there's some gigantic ultimates coming out of Magnus, some really big reverse polarities, some good pickouts with Beastmaster, who is yet to be find level 6. Alcor, what's going on, man? I know you got shut down on bottom, but farm jungle or something. Stack up some creep, because they're having a rough time. Speaking of rough time, in mid lane, Alcor taking a lot of damage, getting orchided up. He will drop, take a fall. Tidehunter in over his head. 3 seconds on Ravage. He wants it, spamming it, not going to get it. But and the back end of things, just Clink's cleaning up, auto attack after auto attack, overcharge, strafe, all that attack speed, and they're going to be able to bring down Havos too, I'm sure of that. There goes the Impale, there goes the Mana Burn, and Ultra Kill for Jackal in the end. Really, really nicely played, and they're going to easily take a tower in turn. They could probably take Roche if they wanted to. Armlet toggling, pretty effective in that regard, but they're just going to take the fall back. Okay, they have a lot of momentum, but they are just going to be able to farm up creeps and keep it ganking. They really want kills on the board. There is no bounty hunter, so there's no equalizer. Pretty much, there's no. If you always have a positive KD, there's nothing that GRS.Academy can look at and say, okay, well, it's okay because we're going to come back with this. We get track gold, that kind of thing. Alcor just wants his level 6, not going to get it. Jackal will not allow it, and he's just going to say, no, sir. If you pass by this border here, you're gonna take a fall very quickly. Shadow Demon trying to get some disruption up. Gonna get solo killed by a friggin' Wisp. The urn came out, the spirits were enough, and double kill for Clinks after killing the Beastmaster. He wasn't done yet, taking down the Jakiro. Nice 4-second stun, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to pop the reverse polarity right on the Nyx Assassin, gets stunned up by the Carapace, and will take a fall despite the magic wand. One more auto attack, there we go. Now Havos will be able to get out of here, I believe, but no, with the tether, they might actually be able to bring him down. There goes an urn charge, finish him off, last auto attack, Wisp MVP now. But amazing, amazing action. They're going to call it a good game in no time at all. And, oh, ravaging, you don't disrupt my skeleton, man. They're going to take him down too. Holy crap, this is just such high momentum. Oh, he barely died, but he's just going to buy back 2,300, why not? Look, he probably wants his Crystallis, so he might hang on to it, who knows. Or go for the MKB. Like I said, there's a lot of attack speed on the field. Strafe is, what, 130 bonus attack speed for a full 10 seconds. And then, of course, the Wisp can continuously activate the 70 bonus attack speed. That's 200. That's like tripling your standard base attack speed. But anyways, that's not that big a deal. The good game is called. GRS.Academy knows when they are out. I mean, looking at the goal graph, looking at the experience graph, very linear, very just showy of what happened there. I really liked the action from Wisp on Lifestealer in the mid lane, doing those pulls early on, just shut down Magnus so hard. Looking at the experience for a minute, I mean, we saw how much the kills mattered. We saw how much 27-7, that's obvious to anybody, but look at the experience. Looking at the two heroes that really, really needed it, Beastmaster and Magnus. Magnus did okay, 270, but that was for a solo lane hero. He was supposed to go solo mid. He was supposed to have, you know, standard amount of full lane EXP. Not going to happen. And there goes the poor Chaos Knight. Wanted to kill, not going to happen. Mech on the Tidehunter, by the way. But and the other hero, 108 experience on Alcor. Just very, very hard for him. He got shut down. They did nice warding on the Ancients repeatedly. They ganked him up when he tried to deward it, stack it, etc. They pushed him onto his tower over and over and over. And in general, iCCup, well played indeed. They just did exactly what they needed to, and they came out on top because of it. So really good fundamentals. There's some nice. I don't even know what to say about that one, but yeah, some victory stuff. Anyways, iCCup well played, and hopefully I can cast some more of their games in the near future. They'll definitely be going on into the tournament in a little bit in January. The Bro tournament, I think they're calling it, and that'll be pretty cool because they are definitely in the top 16 and have pretty well secured that slot in my mind. Though there are still 4 days left in the season to decide who goes to that tournament. So you guys round up a group of friends, try it out. Maybe you guys can take these guys on and see how it goes. But good game, well played, and I'll be doing one more game before I conclude for the evening. But I do cast these pretty regularly now. I'm starting off, and I'm going to pretty much cast this 5 or 6 hours today, tomorrow, and the next day is my plan, and then hopefully I can get involved with the Bro tournament as well. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll go on to the next game in just a minute. I'll get you guys the scoreboard, and we'll go from there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And like I said, towards the beginning of the game, if you guys enjoyed the cast, check out my other content, youtube.com/blazecasting. I do a little bit of video guide stuff on a weekly basis. I'm going to do that a little bit more. And then, of course, amateur tournaments, in-houses, whatever. Victory Ravage comes on out. And just nice action all across the board. Well played, iCCup. But you can find me at twitch.tv/blazecasting, youtube.com/blazecasting, and twitter.com/blazecasting. So all of those, same extension, pretty simple, but awesome game. And I'll go on to one more in just a moment's time. Thanks for tuning in, guys.